So this morning I'm here with Ed Smith with Southwest International Trucks. Again, we're looking at this CV515 chassis. And the ones that we've got coming have the super cool aluminum wheels, all the chrome here. This is what we would kind of refer to as a little bit of a work truck.
Correct.
So
Correct.
These are going to come in a little bit fancier with a few more creature comforts.
Yep. Chrome grille, all that stuff.
All that good
Bumper,
stuff
yeah.
and all the stuff here. So when we our customers are going to either put speakers in here, and some of them will even put grill guards on here. Now this is what we refer to as a tilt front hood or a roll front hood.
Correct, correct. The hood flips over this direction. In fact, I can do that real quick.
All right, fantastic.
If you, it requires somewhere around 35 pounds of pull force to do that.
I think I can do that.
Really easily.
I think even I can manage 35 pounds of pull force.
Me too.
All right, so we see it's pretty easy in here. Tell me a little bit about what's going on here, particularly for our maintenance folks, our mechanics. How easy is it to get in here and work on stuff?
It's actually the tilt hood makes it very easy to do that. Some of the key points to keep in mind are the translucent reservoirs. You can easily see through them, so you don't actually have to pull a dipstick tube or anything. And
that's cool.
All the like the oil and the transmission dipstick are very easy. They're different colored. They're easily identified. Over here, they try to make most of the service points on the driver's side. That way, it's very easily accessible from the driver's
And I know
seat.
we didn't do this with this truck, but there's like a 50-degree cut where you just turn it and you can almost just step on in here.
You can actually just walk right through this keyhole and just get right to the components that need servicing.
And I know this isn't an engine, but I have what they call the squirrel brain, so my mind just goes all over the place.
Right.
When we're talking about that cut, talk to me about the turning radius on this truck. So sometimes people think a little bit larger trucks, they may or may not have the turning radius. What's the turning radius like on this thing?
You know, the good news is that this has got a 50-degree wheel cut, okay? And so on your shorter bodies, it is showing somewhere around a 23-foot turning radius. So it turns very tight.
I mean, even length of the cab, I was measuring it, or I was looking at the specs online. I mean, it's a smaller, I mean, it's not a particularly long cab. We have a few customers who have some restrictions as far as length, you know, maybe their fire stations or EMS bays or whatever are older, so they're restricted as far as overall length. And it looks like we're really not going to have any issues. This is actually narrower or not as long as some of the other vehicles we actually have out there.
I believe we have one of the shortest BBCs in its competitive
Fantastic,
size. Yes.
Fantastic. So, so we don't have to take the cab off to get to the engine.
No, that's all facilitated by the tilt hood.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Speaking of the engine, I know I've seen some stuff online. This is the International 6.6. Has a few tweaks, but is, I know a lot of people really liked the Duramax 6.6, and this is kind of essentially maybe very similar to that, and some collaboration between International and GM or Duramax, but with some tweaks, and is very similar to that engine, correct?
Correct.
Okay, fantastic.
Correct. Yes.
Transmission-wise, what do we have on here?
We have an Allison. It's the 1000 or 2000 series.
Okay.
Again, it's a commercial transmission. It's not a automotive transmission beefed up to be a commercial transmission. It's a commercial transmission built by Allison.
So from the maintenance standpoint, from the fleet standpoint, we've got a truck that's going to last, that's really going to be there for them, got the warranty, got the accessibility. So now from the medics, the first responders, let's go inside and see how they're going to feel about it. And actually we'll put this hood back down. I saw there was a little, I tried to put it down earlier, but it didn't work because luckily there was a little safety catch on here that wouldn't allow me to do that.
To keep a possible person being underneath there. So
that's smart.
It's a safety feature.
All right.
There we go.
All right, so we're gonna go inside. Now, again, this is more the base model and the work truck version because that was what was here. But so on the inside, the ones that we've got are going to be a little bit fancier, higher trim level, what we would call, what do y'all call it, your diamond package?
It's the diamond package.
The diamond package. This is something that some of our customers like. They want kind of the orange or the red seat belts. We remove high visibility, right.
Yep.
So everybody can see that they've clicked it so they don't get a ticket. Right.
Correct.
We're going to remove this center section, and that's going to have our console in it. Now we've got the display on the dash.
Correct.
And we're getting these where you actually have the backup camera. What other sorts of things do you have in here that are going to be for driver comfort, kind of creature comfort, that are going to make it nice for them?
Well, first of all, the cab is insulated as well as triple sealed.
Oh, okay. So tell me what that means.
Well, that just means that all the noises and the water and the wind noise is eliminated. It's
Gotcha.
a very quiet ride.
That's
Very
nice to know.
enjoyable
So if
ride.
somebody else is playing their radio too loud, the folks sitting in here are not going to hear it.
That's correct. As well as additional insulation that's in the firewall and the floor area.
So from
as
anything
well.
that's coming in from the cab.
Correct.
All right, good to know. So that's nice and quiet. Room-wise, looks like it's pretty roomy. What do we have behind the cab? Got some, or behind the seats, you've got plenty of room back there.
Plenty of room there. That's typically where a fire extinguisher and a set of triangles would go.
And I'm not particularly tall. We might refer to me as vertically challenged, but looks like we've got plenty of room up here above the head.
Plenty of room. In fact, I believe the leg room, I'm thinking we may be best in class as far as the leg room goes.
Alrighty, fantastic.
For the taller drivers. Mm-hmm. This here, we got tilt steering wheels, so it moves up and down. Also, coincidentally, we have best-in-class visibility forward.
You know, and that is something super interesting because, like I said, I'm not the world's tallest person. Sometimes when I get in vehicles, I can't see if they're too far, if the hood comes up too far and it doesn't kind of slope down. I can't see over the freaking hood.
Right,
So,
right. No,
to me, that's a big dang deal.
as you can see,
Yeah.
right, you can see very well.
And so it's got
from there.
adjustability here. So really, I mean, again, taking that comfort of who's driving it and combining with the folks who have to work on it.
Correct.
And making that kind of that middle ground to try to satisfy both of those groups.
Yeah, International does a very good job of integrating the body with the chassis. Items such as those switches down there, if you see the switches.
Easy to not even have to, I mean, I'm just looking forward here and then I can just kind of
And those,
do what I need to do.
can also be retrofitted for body switches as well.
Yeah, I mean, maybe something that we can do in the future, something if we
Yeah.
want to put switches in here for something. Okay, fantastic. Now, let's look outside just
Okay.
real quickly. We were talking about ride quality and creature comforts.
Yeah.
So this is showing the leaf springs on it, but obviously we're going to replace that with a LiquidSpring suspension
Correct.
system. We've had great luck from that. Now the chassis that we've got coming, the LiquidSpring is going to be put on at the TSC, the Truck Specialty Center or Specialization Center.
That's correct.
So what's that going to do from a ride quality standpoint for everybody in the back? What's that going to feel like?
It's going to be very improved. You know, suspension systems over the years have actually gotten so much better. We use like a parabolic taper leaf now, or even suspension systems on some of our older trucks would be very nice riding, even in a spring suspension. The liquid air only enhances that ride even further. So yes, you're gonna have a very nice ride.
Now, let's say we have someone who has an issue and they're not necessarily near the international dealer where the chassis came from. So one of the things that I've learned is y'all tend to have really good relationships with other dealerships and you tend to collaborate. So if I've got somebody that's like, hey, my ambulance is down, I need to go get it serviced, and you know, you're here in Dallas and Josh is up there in Longview, but this group happens to be in South Carolina. Are you going to be able to pick up the phone and talk to those folks? How does that work? Because it's not necessarily a cement truck or something like this. This is something that's going to pick up folks and try to get them to the hospital.
Well, first of all, Navistar international dealers across the country values emergency services.
Yeah.
Okay, so municipalities and emergency services are important to us.
Absolutely.
So you're a priority. However, in this particular instance, a different dealership, different town, what's going to happen there is that we all need each other. Us dealers, we need each other. I need the dealer in Longview. The Longview dealer needs me to help facilitate repairs on maybe some of his customers' trucks.
Sure.
So we're going to get this taken care of. If there is an issue, they can always call me, and I will pursue the issue for them.
Sure. Okay. Well, great. Well, I mean that helps, and I mean with our customers, we have a very collaborative working relationship with them, and that helps. And I mean we have seen that with international, and
Same thing
I mean
with
even
us.
with folks within international and the dealerships working with each other and really helping keep these life-saving vehicles out on the road. I mean that's it. The downtime for these folks is not a good thing. So
That's right.
we expect in anything that there are going to be issues. It's just when they happen, how quickly can we get them serviced and get
how
them
we
back on the
handle
road, and how easy is it to do?
Yeah.
And it looks like it's being built as something that's easy to service in the first place.
It is.
Parts-wise, we've talked about there's some parts shortages. Do the dealerships tend to stock those things that might be on that hit list of, well, this might be, these are the most common things that folks are going to need? Do the dealerships kind of have those ready to go? And
Yes, there's always, if a dealer's doing the job right, they're going to do their best to have these pieces maybe pre-ordered or have a plan for having these pieces when they're needed.
would that be something, even if somebody didn't have one, but you did, and you're working with another dealership, you're like, here you go. It's overnight, it's on its way to you.
Yes.
Okay, well, great. Well, I appreciate it. Looks like a great truck, and we're excited to see more of them out on the road.
But we're excited as well.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Appreciate it.